Every producer and songwriter has ran into the feeling of creative burnout, endlessly tweaking a song, sinking hours upon hours of your time with no end in sight. Today I'm going to talk about some of the most common reasons why I see producers get hit with creative block and the techniques I use to get around them. I'm going to start this off with what I think the number one reason most producers and songwriters go through creative block, and that is because they spend far too much time forcing one single idea to work. This not only kills your creativity, it also demolishes your confidence because you've spent the entirety of a week or even longer on a song that hasn't really progressed much from where you initially started it. This can really cause negative thoughts to creep up into your head, making you think you suck and that you should just call it quits. But I have an extremely simple solution to this common problem. Just let it go. Start a different idea. If that one doesn't work, make another idea. And if that one doesn't work, make another idea. Start more ideas. Not every one of your songs is going to be a banger, and the sooner you realize that, the better off you will be. Even the greatest songwriters and producers go through this same exact issue, but you just never know about it because they're only going to show you their best ideas. The way I go about writing my ideas is to spend anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour writing the initial foundation of a song, saving the project, and moving on to the next. Then I'll check back on the ideas a couple days later with a fresher mind, where I can be a bit more objective about the ideas and see what sticks. If I really like what I have so far, I'll work a bit more on arranging the song, adding more layers, or maybe getting a rough mix in. If I kinda like the idea but can't really think of any further additions to make to it, I will literally just leave it alone for the time being. There is no point in me trying to force this song and likely either burning myself out in the process or absolutely destroying the idea because I'm forcing myself to make something out of nothing. I will sometimes sit on these ideas for months at a time, opening up the projects maybe once a week and seeing if I have anything to add to it then. This not only lets you be more objective about the ideas you write since you're giving your ears some time to reset, but it also means you're writing more ideas overall, giving you more possibilities for spending time on great ideas versus spending a bunch of time on one idea that might not be that great to begin with. I know this technique will likely not work for everyone, and it's kind of the opposite of what most people suggest for creative block, as you will commonly see people suggest taking long breaks from writing, but taking breaks never worked for me personally, so this method has been what I found works best. As a producer myself, I know how easy it is to get overly comfortable in the way I go about creating, but most of the time when you have writer's block, it's usually because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Sticking to the same routine can very quickly become monotonous, stale, and uninspiring. This is an incredibly common habit I see a lot of producers and songwriters go through, including myself. This can really put you in a box creatively and really kills any inspiration you have over time. Luckily, there is a really easy fix to this if you can identify the problem when it happens quick enough. But that's where this trick can be difficult. It is incredibly difficult for us to break out of our comfort zones, but it is something we must do to progress and improve our overall skills as producers and songwriters. Whenever I'm feeling burnt out on making, let's say, drum and bass, I will sit down and make something completely different like synthwave or deep house, for instance. You will probably suck at it at first, but even if you do, it might be exactly what you need to bring some inspiration back to the genres you work with the most. This not only helps you expand your musical horizons, it also gives you a nice break from whatever genre you mainly work in, and it helps you learn some new techniques along the way that you can begin to apply to any other genres you work in. And the final reason why you're burning out so often is a lack of inspiration. I know I struggle with this one often since I don't really listen to music as much as I would like, but whenever I'm feeling burnt out or uninspired, I will just sit down for an hour, play a video game I really like, and just let Spotify run in the background, and more often than not, during that hour I will have listened to something that just really spiked my interest, or maybe just lit a fire under me to try and make something outside of my comfort zone. Listening to music either similar to what you work on or even on a completely different spectrum can really help you find some much needed inspiration when you're having a hard time making music. There are a lot of reasons why we may be feeling burnt out creatively, but these three things are the most common reasons I see other producers fall into creative blocks, and these are the steps I take to get myself out of these ruts very simply and very quickly. I hope this video was helpful and that these strategies can be applied the next time you run into any form of creative block. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.